Breathe better and sleep deeper with the Levoit Classic 160 Top Fill Humidifier. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to get your Levoit Top Fill Humidifier on Amazon today and enjoy a healthier, more comfortable home. Welcome to Reality Rundown, where we dive into the darkest corners of human history and explore what drives people to do the unimaginable. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most devastating bombings in modern history, the Omagh bombing. It was a typical day in August 1998, when the real IRA detonated a massive car bomb in the town of Omagh, Northern Ireland. The blast killed 29 people, including many civilians, and injured over 200 others. It was one of the worst terrorist attacks in British history, and it had a profound impact on the lives of those who lost loved ones. But what makes this story even more disturbing is that the bombing was planned and executed by a group of individuals who were motivated by politics and ideology. The real IRA was a splinter group from the Irish Republican Army, and they saw themselves as fighting for an independent Ireland. But to ordinary people, they were just terrorists who chose to take innocent lives. The investigation into the bombing was one of the longest and most complex in British history. The police and intelligence agencies scoured the country for clues, but it wasn't until years later that the truth finally came to light. The real IRA had been using the Irish Republic as a base to plan and coordinate their attacks. And they had been warned about the bombing plot multiple times. Despite the best efforts of the authorities, no one was ever convicted of carrying out the Omagh bombing. In 2009, a judge ruled that 4 of the men involved in the plot were liable for damages to the victims' families, but it was a hollow victory. The public inquiry into the bombing was finally set up, and it's been gathering evidence and testimony from survivors and relatives ever since. What's striking about this story is how ordinary people were affected by this tragedy. We hear about the bombers and their plans all the time, but what about the victims? Who were they, and how did their lives change forever? The reality of war is that it doesn't discriminate between politicians and civilians. Anyone can be caught in the crossfire. The Omagh bombing is a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of terrorism. It's a story of loss, grief, and trauma, but also of resilience and hope. For the families of those who were killed or injured, there will never be closure, but they've found ways to keep their loved ones' memories alive. As we continue to explore this case on Reality Rundown, we'll delve deeper into the complexities of the investigation and the aftermath of the bombing. We'll talk to experts and relatives and examine the wider context in which this tragedy took place. It's a story that will leave you shaken, but also a reminder of the power of human spirit. That's all for today, folks. Join us next time on Reality Rundown as we explore more stories like this one.